So
good. All right, welcome to SNG Weekly Wrap Up. It is the ultimate bracket of things today. We have done 4 weeks of these ultimate brackets. If you missed them, go back and watch them. The links are on our page, and we've come down with 4 winners. We have Jack Black, we have Blockbuster, we have Ketchup, and we have the Rolling Stones competing for the ultimate bracket of things. Joe, how are you feeling heading into this week, having won 3? But then getting stuck with the only one you didn't win, which was Ketchup.
The thing is though, this is the nice part about this whole concept is I'm really not stuck with it because I don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, true.
yeah,
That's a good point. That's a good. Actually, you came out the best when you think about it like that. You don't have to talk about anything Ketchup. So yeah, AJ, Dan, how are you feeling? Good topics this week.
yeah, I think so. I only know my bracket, which is the one that people can see on the screen at the moment. So I'm going into it blind with the Blockbuster, Ketchup, and Rolling Stone brackets. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what those involve.
AJ,
yeah. I'm looking forward to you guys talking about my bracket because there's a lot to love with the Rolling Stones. These guys are legends.
yeah, I was happy to see you got a boner reference in there as well. Can always count on AJ for one of those. So we'll get to that. I think last. I think you'll have the last bracket. But yeah, so we have our 4 winners. We've created brackets from those 4 winners. It's going to come down to an ultimate final 4 and 1 ultimate winner here. I'm excited. I think this is going to be really fun. This will conclude our brackets. We'll probably bring it back at some point, but I think we'll get back to drafts next week. But Dan, let's get started with you with bracket number 1.
So bracket number 1, the region here is Jack Black, and I thought could go with Jack Black films, and then when I actually started trying to list them, I could probably name about 6 or 7, but I'd only seen about 3 or 4 of them. I'd seen like School of Rock, King Kong,
Jumanji,
and then like Nacho Libre.
Libre,
and then beyond that, it was kind of rough. So, what I've gone with the region here is bands that feature on stickers in the film School of Rock, starring Jack Black. So,
did you rewatch it just to look for stickers?
I'm gonna let the audience believe that I did, but in confidence, I'll tell you, AJ, I didn't. But we'll let the audience believe that I did.
Okay.
And
you can censor that, right?
We'll censor that. There's a 10-second delay. So.
There's a live,
perfect.
Yeah, we got we're paying someone, freelancing someone off of Fiverr. So round 1, and I will mention here actually that the Beatles were on a sticker, and I chose to leave them out of respect to the Rolling Stones, who have already defeated the Beatles in this tournament. So I think there's a couple of bands on here that the Rolling Stones also defeated, but we'll ignore that. So round 1, seed number 1, Metallica going up against the Strokes.
I love that. I just want to say off the bat, I love that this is basically just a band bracket. Is essentially we've come back to the bands because that's the best bracket. So I love this. I'm going to throw in my vote, and then I'm going to go run to my car and get a quarter that I meant to have here, just in case we come down to a tie-breaking coin flip. So I'm going to throw in my vote for Metallica, and then you guys can give your votes, go on to the next matchup as well, and I'll be back in time for that. So
cool. All right.
So what do you think?
I respect the Strokes. I've actually listened to quite a bit of Metallica lately. The new stuff is not good, but the highs are high.
AJ?
Wait, so who are you voting for?
Oh, Metallica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm voting for Metallica too. I'm not sure that it should be the number 1 seed.
I agree with you there.
But up against the Strokes, I mean Metallica. I'm not the biggest Metallica fan, but their S&M album where they play with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra is like one of my favorite rock albums. So can't be bad.
Yeah. So they were originally, I think the Beatles were originally the 1 seed, and then AC/DC were in at the 2, and then I think Metallica were like 3rd or 4th. But then when I took the Beatles out, I had to put someone up. and I know that I think James doesn't like AC/DC, so I thought, to save him, I finish this before he puts his headphones back on, but to save him being like, oh, I hate AC/DC, I'd put them in at number 2.
So you're like him. These are anticipatory seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gauging your seeds based on what you
Yeah, you can't seed gauge.
Well, that's okay. I'm a wild
card,
do it. So
I feel like I missed something big here. Also, who won?
Nothing involving you. Metallica 3
Strokes
and
won.
0.
Wow. Oh. I was like, Metallica, no way did the Strokes win.
So the next matchup is the number 4 seed, The Clash, up against number 5, Iron Maiden.
I'll let one of you guys start on this.
I don't know enough Iron Maiden songs for me to have a strong opinion, which is unfortunate. But I do know a lot of Clash songs. So just out of to not be ignorant, I'll go with the 4 seed.
AJ?
Yeah, in terms of which do I listen to more, it would probably be Iron Maiden, of Iron Maiden, and they're kind of like, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Pioneers in like their specific craft of rock and roll, and they've inspired a lot of bands after them. But then so did the Clash. I think I'd go with the Clash too.
I'm with Joe on this as well. I don't know many Iron Maiden songs, so I'd have to go with the Clash. So another clean sweep. 3-0 there.
Oh.
Nice. So that sets up Metallica and the Clash in the next round. Then we have the 3 seed Red Hot Chili Peppers up against number 6 seeded Radiohead.
I'll jump in on this one because I know a lot of people who are like diehard Radiohead fans, and I don't really get it. I mean, I love some of their songs, but I haven't slipped into the cult level of that yet. I can listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers all day long.
Okay.
So you're going Radiohead?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Joe?
Listened to a lot of Radiohead in my life, more than I'd care to admit. I agree that it's not like I don't think like OK Computer is like the best album of all time, like some people think, or like Kid A or In Rainbows or any of those. Like, I think they have a lot of really good songs. It's brooding. I can't listen to the brooding for a long time. Listenability, no doubt, Red Hot Chili Peppers. But I think Radiohead still is pound for pound the better band. Innovation wise, I think it's hard to quantify. I think there's a lot of bands that have tried to follow up in the Radiohead kind of like drama rock with more like of an electronic influence. And just the songwriting is so good. And I just think as good as Red Hot Chili Peppers are, they're fun. I would love to see them live. Got to give it to Radiohead. And I don't want it. It's a very arrogant take by me, and I don't like it, but I have to do it.
AJ, I hope your grandma just keeps walking back and forth like the entire show.
Just like on through the house.
Just get her on a moving sidewalk that just goes back and forth.
After last week, I definitely told her that this is a live show. And I have mirrors behind me here. Okay, what are we doing here?
I do love the choice by you to have a backdrop of mirrors. It's kind of cool. So I agree with everything Joe said, and I want to vote Radiohead. But the only time I saw Radiohead live, they did not play Creep, which I found to be
they play Creep
offensive.
Now. They play it now. They don't.
No, Joe, they
play
play it at every single show.
Except the one you went to.
Except the one I was at, because it was Tom York's birthday, and he came out, and the first thing he said was he wasn't playing Creep, and they played for 2.5 hours.
I thought they didn't play it for like years. Like
they might not have, but I looked up on Setlist FM after the show, and all previous 20 shows, and then the 20 shows after he played Creep.
Yeah, I think they quit for a while, but no, that's fair. That's a fair.
Yeah, so I'm going Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That would fill me with spite.
Yeah.
But
I was furious. I mean, I'm not a big Radiohead fan, and they were like really good live. And I've since become like more of a Radiohead fan. I enjoy their music, but yeah, to not play Creep, it's just the one time I'm ever going to see them. Kind of disappointing. Got to give it to Red Hot Chili Peppers. They go through.
Cool. I was going to say that's like when I saw Bob Dylan, and he didn't play a single like Bob Dylan song. He played all like B-side Frank Sinatra songs, and then almost like ironically or like sarcastically at the end as an encore, he played like some rearrangement of Blowing in the Wind, and it wasn't even like normal. It was like you could just about make out that it was Blowing in the Wind, and it was just like, yep, that's the only time I'm ever going to see Bob Dylan.
Yep.
And I didn't recognize a single. I recognized one song at the end, like roughly. But hey, that's I guess that's a liberty that they kind of earn throughout their career, isn't it?
I went to see Neil Young, Dan, and kind of the same thing happened where he played Young or what is it, Old Man, and then like Heart of Gold, where his first two songs he played on like a stripped down set, and then he played 2 hours of his two most recent he played his two most recent albums all the way through, and every song was about Monsanto. And he sang Monsanto in every single song, and it was by far the worst concert I've ever been to.
What?
at least he front ended it though with his classics.
I guess, yeah, I guess, but
because
you were kind of expecting
that, but yeah.
That's
just
we
a
left
tease
early.
then. To
we left early.
Wet your palate, and then start singing about soybeans.
Because after every single song, you must have been thinking, well, he's already played 2 classics, so he might play another one next.
Exactly. Exactly.
It was almost guys.
When I wrote about genetically modified organisms.
Okay. So the final matchup of the first round here is the 2 seed AC/DC against the 7 seed, which is quite low. I think they're possibly unfairly low seeded. Black Sabbath here.
Yeah,
I'll start on this one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna say just way too low here.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
God,
no,
it's metal. Seed gauging from half of the audience is not great.
Yeah, this is this one's tough for that reason, but I think for me, I like AC/DC better. So I just think Black Sabbath has a tough first round matchup. Like I'm taking AC/DC here. I just think it's a matchup thing more than anything.
I'm taking Black Sabbath easily. I'm just a big fan.
Damn. Now I gotta choose.
The Symptom of the Universe is maybe a top 5 rock song ever. Just tremendous band.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen Tony Iommi as much as I would have loved to. I've seen Ozzy. He's playing with Zakk Wylde, and they put on a motherfucking show. I mean, the Godfather of Metal is the Godfather of Metal because of the legacy that extends from his batwing cape, like snorting a line of ants. Who does that? Ozzy Osbourne does that. He's everything that rock and roll should be. But then again, so is Bon Scott and Angus Young. Like, these are probably 2 of my top 5 favorite bands of all time. I've seen AC/DC. They were playing with Axl Rose singing lead because Brian Johnson was down, which I was honestly fine with because I'm not a big Brian Johnson fan. But I can listen to early AC/DC all day, every day, multiple days in a row. It's just that electric, that high voltage, that in your face, kick in the mouth, like rock and roll. Yikes. I think I'm gonna go AC/DC.
Yeah.
But I hate to have Black Sabbath go.
I hate that you've done it to us, Dan. Hate that you've done that to us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That hurt.
So DC make it through. Okay, right. Next up, then we have the 1 seed Metallica up against the 4 seed The Clash.
I have a feeling I'm going to be in the minority here. I think it's going to be Metallica through, but I'm going with The Clash. I love The Clash. I listen to them all the time. I don't listen to Metallica all that much, but But yeah, I'm just a big fan. I think they have so many great songs. Love listening through, just putting the Spotify on shuffle with the Clash. And I do that way more than I do with Metallica. So give me the Clash.
Okay.
I think if we did the Spotify Shuffle challenge, the Clash would win.
Yeah.
But I also think they have way less songs. And as I said while you were gone, the highs of Metallica, the just Master of Puppets. I mean, just in general, I just have to take Metallica. Maybe just because of the strength of Audubon.
AJ, break the tie.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you guys said, song for song, the Clash wins out kind of in the longevity of it. But if I had to make a list of my top 10 favorite songs from both bands, I'd be done with my Metallica list way faster. You know, one, Fade to Black, Ride the Lightning, Nothing Else
Hey,
Matters.
name all 10.
Battery. I just Metallica.
Okay. Pushes
Cool.
Metallica to the finals. No surprise there, I don't think.
And then on the other side, we have the 3 seed Red Hot Chili Peppers up against the 2 AC/DC.
Someone else start.
I'll go first. This one is tough for me too because I fucking love Red Hot Chili Peppers, but AC/DC is just like one of those bands for me, and it's really just up through the Back in Black album, pretty much. There's maybe 2 songs after the Back in Black album that I can even listen to, but their early stuff is just so good. I can listen through their discography just without stopping because I fucking love their music. So I'll vote AC/DC.
The demonetized episode, thanks to AJ. Yeah, I'm going.
What did I say?
No, nothing. I'll go Red Hot Chili Peppers because you actually kind of sold me with your reasoning for AC/DC, AJ. You sold it because I think like even the Red Hot Chili Peppers most recent album, I really enjoyed, and I think they keep putting out good music, whereas AC/DC had a time where they stopped putting out good music. So
when Bon Scott died.
Well, I mean, whatever the reason may be, I'll take Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I was gonna have Red Hot Chili Peppers as well.
Okay.
AC/DC just too top heavy, and everything kind of sounds the same. Which I know I kind of just said that Metallica was top heavy, which is why I voted them through. But just I don't know, man. I also know a guy with a Red Hot Chili Peppers tattoo, so shout out to him.
Nice. Okay. So then that sets up a final of the 1 seed Metallica against the 3rd seed Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I'll start. I'm going Red Hot Chili Peppers. Kind of same reasons I voted against Metallica last round. Same reasons I voted for Red Hot Chili Peppers last round. But yeah, I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I think to me the right side of the bracket was much stronger than the left side.
Yeah, I knew kind of going into this that whoever won out of the Chili Peppers versus AC/DC was getting my vote. Yeah, nothing against the Red Hot Chili Peppers. From what I said last time, they have written a bunch of really great albums, start to finish, just good music.
So is that a clean sweep, Joe, or?
I would have voted for Metallica.
Okay, so 2-1 there.
2-1. Okay, so yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers advanced through to the final four. So yeah, we're over to Blockbuster now.
Okay, so we go to the Blockbuster bracket. I have the seeded 1 through 8. AJ disagrees with the seedings. I just have matchups, as I always do, as I tell you every week. It's just matchup based, but I do think the 1 seed's the 1 seed for a reason. But we'll see. We'll see how you guys feel about it. So my favorite things about Blockbuster here, you've got the 1 seed browsing movies versus the 8 seed censored movies. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Blockbuster used to censor certain movies. It was a Christian organization, Blockbuster. So you would have certain like rated R movies where the sex scenes were censored out or like gory scenes were censored out. So just keep that in mind with your vote in case you didn't remember. but browsing movies versus censored movies.
So what, browsing movies is just like, as in just like looking through when you're at Blockbuster?
Basically, when you just go to Blockbuster and you looked at every movie, like you spend an hour looking at every movie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's going to get my vote. I don't think we had censored movies in the UK. It doesn't ring a bell. So yeah, I'll go with browsing movies. I mean, I feel like that's a whole big part of Blockbuster in general. That's like the main thing. And that's something that sort of carried on, I think, into the streaming era, as people still spend fucking hours just browsing through Netflix and Amazon Prime and stuff. And actually spend more time doing that than actually watching something. So yeah, browsing gets my vote.
That's true. Yeah. Us humans like to browse.
Yes.
We're real browsers.
AJ, Joe?
Yeah, that's an easy one for me.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's voting for censored movies.
No, I just wanted to have it up there. All right, so we've got the 4 seed, the popcorn bucket, which we've talked about last time Blockbuster was on the show, and up against the 5 seed. I put candy because I know the candy could change. I always think of Nestle's Bunch of Crunch. It was the only place I ever saw that candy was at a Blockbuster. But I didn't know if that would translate to UK as well. So I figured just candy versus popcorn, essentially.
I'll start on this because I got a hard stance against popcorn. I don't think there are many worse snacks. I know popcorn's very popular with people, but like for me, when I'm chewing it and then it just like there's that stuff that you don't really want to swallow and it just becomes like a wad in your mouth. And then it's like you got the shell stuck in your teeth. What's worse than that?
More food for later.
Oh God, no! That's that nagging thorn in my flesh. I'm going candy.
I mean, I kind of agree. You're never going to get movie theater level popcorn anywhere besides a movie theater. I do like microwave popcorn, but the candy stays consistent throughout. So because it's Blockbuster, I'll take candy as well. Sorry, Dan, I didn't want to step on your toes if you had differing opinions, but
no, I would probably throw a vote to popcorn, but obviously, yeah, candy's going to win out here.
Shame.
I don't know about the popcorn bucket. Are you saying that they used to serve it in a bucket? And
yeah, so you used to buy it in a bucket. All the kernels were at the bottom. I forget if they gave you like
microwave or something.
And then you put it in the microwave, it would pop, and it would about a quarter of the kernels would pop, and the rest would just stay at the bottom of the bucket.
And some of them would like burn, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think candy's a worthy winner then, but I'll still throw my my vote towards popcorn because I think it's a good snack. But yeah, movie theater popcorn is the best.
Yeah, it's the best.
So yeah, candy
is outrageous. All right, so we've got the 2 versus 7. We've got the generic Blockbuster case. Saw one actually the other day. Someone had a DVD that they just had. I guess I never returned to Blockbuster. And then that is up against
late fee is.
Yeah. That is up against the slogan "Be kind, rewind." So take it away, boys.
Well, it certainly could have had Be Kind, Rewind in the Jack Black bracket.
Yes.
This is true.
That Be Kind, Rewind is the worst. It was the worst message. The case is great. You remember the case more than anything. So definitely the case.
I'll go next just in case we get another clean sweep. Or like another 2 and out. I'm going to go with Be Kind and Rewind because just the thought of having to rewind a VHS after returning it has brought back some good memories. And I'd completely forgotten that was even a thing, obviously after the DVD era. So, yeah, I like the idea of someone taking the courtesy of rewinding a film after they finished it in order for the next viewer to enjoy it straight away. So yeah, I'll vote for that, and we'll send it over to AJ for the deciding vote.
My first inclination was Be Kind, Rewind, because of the jingle of it and how it's just kind of like stuck in our brains, and they named a movie after him, blah, blah, blah. But Joe, I think you changed my mind real quick there. Like, I don't want to be told what to do at every fucking avenue. Like, I know I should rewind it, and I know that would be the right kind thing to do. And even as a kid, I didn't, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do it, and then I should be rewarded for doing something without having to be told.
It's the original wear a mask.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of fragile masculinity on this podcast at the moment.
But also I wasn't thinking that the generic case was like as ingrained in your mind.
Yeah, it's iconic.
Image-wise, it is. Yeah. So generic case.
The generic case, is that just it was a blue and yellow case or something?
Yeah.
Like
so basically they take the DVD or the VHS and they get rid of the original case. And then
the one that you get. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so is that your vote, AJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good vote. It is a good vote.
It's got the logo. We're kind of voting for the logo.
I'm just going to look it up now. Blockbuster case.
Okay, so generic case goes through. We've got the 3 versus 6. The 3 seed is going to be your Blockbuster membership card up against the 6 seed, the weirdo employee that keeps telling you to rent Freddy Got Fingered or whatever other weird movie that they're obsessed with.
I'll shoot my vote out for the weird employee. Membership card is a membership card, but when I saw that was on the bracket, like my mind started filtering through these random people that like I can't really tell their face because I was really young then, but like you knew who the weird employees were.
Yeah,
that was like I don't know why Blockbuster attracted a lot of weirdos, but they give you a different kind of feeling. You're judging them as a kid. You're like, what the heck is wrong with that guy?
I actually meant to say this, AJ, on our Wickerman pod, but we just reviewed Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans, with Nicolas Cage. I remember going to a Blockbuster when I was like 9, and the employee recommending the movie Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel, which is one of the most like effed movies I've ever watched in my life. It's like,
and how old were you?
And I was 9. Like there's like I watched it when I watched it a few weeks ago, and I felt like sick to my stomach watching that movie. It's just always like the worst recommendations. But anyway, sorry, just had to throw that out there. So Dan, Joe, membership card or weirdo employee?
Dan, you can go. I feel like I'm still on your thunder.
I mean, I feel like, I think I need to go for the weird employee as well. I feel like these are similar people, or maybe after Blockbuster kind of went bust, these people now work in movie theaters just generally, and just sort of anywhere around film and stuff. But I like these people. I think they're the outliers of sort of normal society, and I think they're interesting, and I'm with the weird employees all the way. I think that it wouldn't be the same without them. They're part of the experience.
Okay, so Joe, what would you have voted for?
Yeah, I think it is part of the experience. It is what you miss about like Netflix. Like you don't have the human touch. The membership card, I feel like we already have.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if you're watching Netflix and there's just like it cuts to this really weird guy trying to recommend a movie for you?
You have to watch 7 Underground.
Yeah. Trust me, it's great.
I think 6 Underground before I get corrected. All right, so our first semifinal matchup here, we've got the 1 seed Browsing Movies up against the 5 seed Candy. Whatever you associate Blockbuster Candy with.
I'll go first because I think I have less association with the candy side of Blockbuster. We had something called Poppets in the UK, Poppets, which were like little. I guess they were a bit like Milk Duds, that sort of thing. And I do vaguely associate them with being available in in Blockbuster, but to be honest, I don't have a huge. Also, that actually like the bags of like either Maltesers or minstrels. I think they might have different names in the States, but I think it's going to be browsing movies for me. Again, it's kind of the it's the top, name. We asked 100 people to name an activity they would do in Blockbuster. Browsing movies is probably going to be the top answer.
Yes.
So
says.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with browsing movies.
You have a candy called Minstrels?
Yeah, it sounds kind of un-PC, doesn't it, when you say it now? But it still exists. So it's not
got bits of real minstrel in
it. Yeah. They're really nice, actually. They're so nice.
AJ, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much hit it. Like, I don't know, Jay. I actually don't ever even look for Bunch of Crunch when I'm not in a movie theater because I just feel like it's disrespectful to eat it when I'm not there.
Yeah.
So I don't know for sure if it was. I'll take your word for it that it was only sold at Blockbuster. But if I have some time, I might head to Walgreens later and see if or 7-Eleven and see if it's there. So I almost want to hold my vote until then.
Okay, we'll pause the show here. Head up to Walgreens.
So if AJ votes browsing movies, we can continue.
I was gonna vote browsing movies because, I mean, we're humans and we browse. I think that's what makes things like Amazon like so successful, right? Like Jeff Bezos didn't make all of his fortune selling books. He was selling recommendations for books that you might like, and then people just get in these wormholes of like looking at more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. So as the browsers, we shall browse.
Yeah, I'm happy browsing movies goes through. I still like to go to like Target and browse through their DVDs. I was at Goodwill on Friday. And I was like, Dan, don't let me buy any DVDs because I just don't. I'm never going to watch them, but I just love looking through all the cases. So,
yeah, I think we're conditioned to do that because of places like Blockbuster and stores like that when we were younger. Because I'm the same. If ever I see like a wall of, I can't remember the last time I bought something after looking at like a list of DVDs or video games or something, but like I just feel like conditioned that I have to go and have a look.
Yeah.
No matter what, like I just want to have a look at it and then just leave. Like there's no intention of buying. It's just the browsing element is huge.
It was kind of weird. I mean, when you think about Blockbuster with the generic cases, just thinking about like I feel like I pick movies now based on covers sometimes. And I guess I was just like,
you're not supposed to do that.
I guess I was just like reading the movie title
by the cover.
So maybe Blockbuster took that out. All right, so we go now. We go to the 2 versus 6 seed here for other semifinal. We've got the 2 seed generic Blockbuster case against the 6 seed the weirdo employee.
I gotta stick with my weirdo employee, to be honest. The case, I had to look up the case. It is kind of iconic, but I think the weirdo employee for me is more memorable. So I'm sticking my vote in for weirdo employee.
So I like that both of these are your seed gauging worked here because these are both relics of the past. Like there's no comparable generic case and there's no comparable weirdo employee for streaming. To be contrarian, and because we all have the same vision of the generic case, I will pick the generic case.
I think if I was a little older back in the day, I could see myself getting a part-time job at Blockbuster.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might have been
I think people would have saw me as the weird employee.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of edges it out for me in terms of which one of these relics is the more near and dear thing.
So you're going weirdo employee?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, that pushes that through to the final. Big upset there. The 6 seed makes it through to the final. Goes up against a powerhouse now, the 1 seed browsing movies. up against the 6 seed Weirdo Employee to make it to the Final Four.
I mean, I think actually I won't go first on this one because I've gone first on the last few. So yeah, AJ maybe start this one.
I'll go first because I decided the last one. I think this is as far as the weirdo gets. I think, like we've been saying, the very idea of browsing anything is just so ingrained in our, like, what we are as people. I think that's got my vote all the way.
Yeah. I agree with your age thing. I think if we were older, and it just would have been weird if we were talking to them at 9-10 years old. I mean, I don't even remember when Blockbuster like really went away for real, but I don't really ever remember being there without a parent. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with browsing.
Okay, Dan, where would you have voted?
I think I would have stuck with back in the underdog here, the Weirdo Employee at number 6. I feel like these two are kind of, I can't think of the word where like two like things have sort of like a bit of a binary like relationship where one doesn't work without the other. Whereas so I think Weirdo Employee is quite important to Blockbuster. But yeah, I can't argue with browsing movies going through. It's like I said, it's the number one thing that you kind of would associate Blockbuster with. So
yeah,
and a great point by Joe that we were young and probably a little bit safer around these weirdo employees back then. So yeah, that's a consideration to make. But yeah, I would have thrown my vote in. So browsing movies wins 2-1.
Okay. So browsing movies goes through to the finals. We go over to Joe's bracket. I'm excited for this one, Joe. So walk us through what your bracket is.
So I had the distinct honor of the ketchup topic.
Nice.
What are the chances?
So I will say there's no seed gauging here. This to me is correct. You spelled sriracha wrong, James. That wasn't me.
Thanks.
That in mind.
What is it? 1 R?
I think the R comes after the S. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's SR.
Sriracha.
Wait. Okay, I'll just look it up and I'll
like SRI and then RACH.
Yeah, you're good. You just have to flip the I and the R.
Okay, gotcha.
But anyway, so yeah, these are just subcategories of ketchup. And if you guys can, if while you're doing this, you think of any like, oh, maybe we should have done this, because I was gonna do ketchup packets as an 8, but I felt like this ketchup stain is even worse than the packets. So we had ketchup at a summer barbecue or the ketchup stain.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I'm happy that you didn't. That Heinz is nowhere on this list and like Hunt's isn't on it, because that would have just been. It would have been too easy. There's some good matchups here, but yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us are voting for the ketchup stain.
Yeah, I don't really care about Heinz and Hunt's. I know I said I wasn't going to debate. I even like Del Monte.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't really. I'm picky, but like, there's some things I'm really just not picky at all about, and that's one of those things. I don't really care.
Do you remember that you could get green ketchup?
Yeah, that was during the Blockbuster era. Yeah, you might actually been able to buy colored ketchup.
And they had like purple ketchup too.
Yeah, they had like all different colors.
Right.
The only thing I would say is like you could have had beside fries as well as on top of fries. I think that's an important like. Do you make contact with your food with the ketchup when you add it?
I think that's
the dipping.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah.
Oh, that is dipping.
Pick up the fry. And...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Nice. All right. Well, I'm good. One is locational and one is an action. That's it. That's how it confused me. All right, let's go.
I'm gonna be the contrarian here and vote for Stain.
What?
So that summer barbecue doesn't just get a 3-0, because when you got a ketchup stain on yourself, that's like your label. It's like, I love ketchup so much, I'll wear it on my clothes.
Yeah.
Well, Dan hasn't voted yet. Dan might.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, that puts it in a tricky situation. James, did you vote for the summer barbecue?
Yes, because I'm not an idiot.
I mean, I'm tempted to go with the stain just out of solidarity with barbecue sauce. That I don't really want ketchup to be kind of lording it up using the name of its main rival.
So I will say, AJ, I will say this. I did love, like, when you spill ketchup on yourself and then you can take a fry and you get the ketchup off your shirt. That is kind of nice. And then you suck the rest of the ketchup up. Yeah, absolutely.
But then when it dries, it's just disgusting.
Then it's just gross. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna cause an upset just for the clout. So let's go for summer barbecue.
Good.
All right.
That's thorough.
So here we have the mixture region, and mixed with mayo or mixed with sriracha.
I'll go first. Mixed with mayo all day. I think I've never to be fair, I've never mixed it with sriracha.
It comes pre-mixed. I've done it manually,
really?
and I've had it pre-mixed. It's very good. I actually would have had a hard time with this. I don't know which one I would have picked.
But yeah, mixing it with mayo is a classic. Thousand Island dressing and the like, and sometimes it just naturally happens. The sauces get crossed. Yeah, number 4 for me.
AJ?
Yeah, same. I like to add ketchup and hot sauce to like the same thing, especially if it's like eggs or something. But I would never go for like a pre-mixed spicy ketchup. But ketchup and mayo go hand in hand for me. So
yeah, shout out Whataburger for having the most overrated ketchup on the planet with their spicy ketchup that people swear by. It's mixed. It's ketchup and mayo, which I first had in London, but I'm not a big fan. I don't like sriracha. So if it was other kind of hot sauce, I do enjoy doing that, but I don't like sriracha. So ketchup with mayo for me.
All right. 3-6. Dipping fries in ketchup, or just squirting the ketchup on top of the fry and just kind of rationing it off, manually and artistically. There's a creative way of doing it.
This is a tough one.
I mean, I think one is chaotic and one is very controlled. And I think there are times when on top of fries is necessary, or is particularly if you're on the go and you're eating and you've only got one hand to hold the fries, one hand to eat the fries, like then on top of the fries kind of makes sense. But then that gets messy as well. Like you're talking about getting ketchup all over your fingers. If a fry, accidentally gets completely covered in ketchup, how are you going to pick that fry up without getting ketchup on your fingers? So I think dipping is generally the preferred option here, but occasions on top is fine. But yeah, I'm going to vote for number 3, dipping.
You got any strong feelings?
I do, actually. I do have a kind of strong feeling on it. I love ketchup on top of fries. I think there's something special about it. Even the mess, like I love doing it at ball games. I think it's great for crinkle cut fries. I think crinkle cut fries, you almost need ketchup on top. I don't know why. It just doesn't work to dip. But yeah, I have to go with fries because ketchup on top is so dependent on the kind of bottle that you're using. So if it's like a squirt bottle or a ketchup packet, you can do it. If it's a glass bottle, if it's one of the ones at games that they just kind of dump out the top, then you've ended up with like 8 fries being completely smothered and the rest has no ketchup. So for me, it's got to be dipping, even though I love ketchup on top.
You guys made some great points. I think I feel the same, but probably identify closer with Dan's rationale, where the only time I'm ever gonna squirt it on top of my fries is when I'm driving, and I only have one hand to pick up and eat, and lick my fingers afterwards before I get the next one.
Yeah,
because like
then that's when you end up with the stains.
And that's how I get my stains.
Yeah.
I'm very proud.
Nice.
So yeah, that pushes it through 3-0. Joe, what's our final matchup first round?
So 2-7. You have it on a breakfast sandwich of your choice, and ketchup in a glass bottle.
I'll start with this one. I love the novelty of glass bottle because it just makes me think of being at a diner and eating like a really shitty, overcharred hamburger that I love and just kind of dumping it out. But it's the most impractical thing in the world. I mean, the squeeze bottles were made for a reason. Glass bottle ketchup is totally impractical. You can never get the right amount of ketchup out. And then about halfway through the bottle, you start having to, dirty a knife by trying to scoop out the ketchup, which is annoying as well. So give it to me on a breakfast sandwich. I won't eat a breakfast sandwich without ketchup. So I need it on that breakfast sandwich, which could have been the number one seed in my opinion.
I'll throw my vote in for the glass bottle because we have a variety of sauces, I guess, in the UK that you could have on a breakfast sandwich. Shout out HP sauce or brown sauce, we would call it. So that would probably be my go-to on some sort of breakfast sandwich. But I don't deny that ketchup is great with that as well. But yeah, glass bottle, something kind of. I can't remember the last time I had a glass bottle of ketchup in my house. But certainly when we were kids, we always used to have them in our house. So, but yeah, you're right about like they're so impractical and it gets to that stage where you have to like disturb the ketchup with a knife beforehand to even make it kind of move about in the bottle. But and then there's that whole thing about that could have been equal with the stain is when ketchup kind of separates into the watery stuff and the ketchup, and you have to shake it to get rid of the water. That's probably not quite as bad as a stain, but it'd probably be the number 9 seed on this list is the water from ketchup.
It's how you develop good wrist strength, though.
Yes,
it is. Yeah, it's one of the first things in your life that you do that for. So I'm gonna go say glass bottle number 7. So that sets up AJ, I think, to cast
Make
the
deciding again. Okay. I got a joke. You guys want to hear a joke?
Yeah, please.
So
I know the joke. Don't say it.
So there's this guy, and he asked his girlfriend, "Hey, why don't you ever give me blowjobs? I'd really like you to give me a blowjob." She's like, "All right, I'll give you a blowjob next time." And she goes to her friend, and she's like, "Hey, my boyfriend's asking for a blowjob. I don't know what a blowjob is. Like, how do I get better at this?" She's like, "Oh, just go home, practice on a ketchup bottle." He goes, "Oh, okay." And so she comes back and she's like, "Hey, ready for your blowjob?" And he's like, "Oh yeah," and drops his trowel. And she goes, breakfast sandwich. Had one this morning. Definitely breakfast sandwich.
I enjoy the irony of AJ telling that joke as I see that James's dad had retweeted just literally at that moment retweeted the tweet about us being live at the moment. So, hey, Mr. Cringe, if you're watching.
Oh my God! All right, well, breakfast sandwich goes through. I told you not to tell. I knew what joke you were gonna say. You've been telling that joke for 15 years, so
and it never gets old.
So thanks for that. Joe, what's our first semifinal matchup? All chalk so far.
Yeah. So first semifinal matchup you have at the summer barbecue or mixed with mayo.
AJ, you want to start? You've been deciding vote here a couple times.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right off the bat and vote against barbecue again because at the barbecue there's a lot of foods. I love me some ribs, some corn, a lot of fixins and stuff that really don't need ketchup. It's not like the focus of the barbecue for me. So I'm gonna go with mayo because I think it's such a killer combo.
Yeah, I mean you're getting ketchup and mayo, and ketchup like you guys have, I think Dan and AJ,
all day.
You've both said it, but you don't need ketchup at a barbecue. Like it's you can go to a summer barbecue without ketchup and be fine. So give me the mix with mayo. Sorry, Dan, if you were going to vote barbecue.
No, yeah, you went with pretty much exactly what I was going to say. I think ketchup is very much just on a level playing field with all of the other sauces when it comes to a barbecue.
Yeah.
It's competing with mustard, with mayo, with ketchup mixed with mayo, with sriracha, with barbecue sauce. And then you might have things like coleslaw there, in which case, that might take away the need to even need a sauce. Yeah. I think ketchup is kind of a bit of an extra in the cast of the barbecue. Mixed with mayo makes it to the final 3-0. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's lost a vote yet. Actually,
big upset.
Joe, what's on the other side?
So now we have your dipping and your breakfast sandwich.
I think I'll start. I think I got to go breakfast sandwich here. I do love dipping fries in ketchup, but I also like dipping fries in Chick-fil-A sauce and honey mustard and like mayo with ketchup and a lot of other sauces that aren't just ketchup. I've been making hot honey fries. You don't even need to dip them in anything. But breakfast sandwich, you need the ketchup. So got to go breakfast sandwich.
I'll go for fries here, just purely based on which I use ketchup more for. It's pretty close. But at this point in my life, I think I'm dipping more fries than I'm eating breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah, this is not I hadn't to this point made a decision on which I was going to choose, but I do think that it's more essential to have ketchup with fries for me than it is on a breakfast sandwich. I think I don't know what the McDonald's breakfast menu is in the States, but like if you get a like McMuffin, like a sausage and egg McMuffin, it doesn't come with ketchup in it, and it is edible without it. Whereas I think with fries, like I think the ketchup is more essential. So yeah, I think for that reason, I'm gonna go with fries. Also, the situation where you have egg yolk and ketchup mixing together, it can be nice, but it's in theory it's a bit weird and a bit odd to have like the yellow runny yolk like mixed in with the ketchup. But actually, it's really nice when it happens.
If you got a soft yolk sandwich, then you don't even need ketchup.
You absolutely need ketchup. Absolutely, you need ketchup. I eat it blindfolded, so I don't have to look at it run together. But you do need ketchup. The yolk. I love you guys.
But like mopping it, I'm thinking like
okay.
When the two mix together, and then it's like if you got a plate. I know that a lot of the time, James, you might be eating out of like a foil wrap or something.
Yeah.
Like if you have a plate. And then those, like some ketchup comes out, and because an egg as well. An egg is a very like flat. It's an egg doesn't absorb anything, does it?
No.
Like an egg is what would be the word for that, AJ? If you can't absorb something, it's like waterproof almost.
Saturated.
Yeah, kind of saturated. Yeah, it's got it's not.
Porous. So let's hear what you boys. Let's hear what you guys think about this. Went to a diner yesterday. Got 2 eggs over easy. Pancakes and hash browns, and I broke the egg yolk and I poured it over my hash browns and then mixed it with ketchup. It was a disgusting visual, but it was delicious. And so I think, with the breakfast sandwich, I think you guys are missing out here on some really good tastes.
The only thing different fries. Change about that is eggs sunny side up instead of over easy, because you're going to get more yolk to dump on your hash browns.
Okay, I might have done that. I don't know what the difference is, to be honest with you.
Sunny side up, you never flip them. Over easy, flip them, and you take them out of the pan real quick. So
gotcha. Yeah, I think I probably got sunny side up then. I don't think they were flipped. So I never knew the difference. Appreciate you telling me. All right, Joe, what's the final here?
So surprisingly, ketchup mixed with mayo versus dipping fries.
I'll just start. I mean, I would prefer to dip fries, I think, in ketchup mixed with mayo than in just ketchup. So it's got to be ketchup
That's
mixed with
essentially
mayo.
what the final is here, isn't it? It's ketchup
Yeah.
versus ketchup and mayo.
Yeah, exactly. You're always going to take ketchup and mayo.
I guess I should have seed gauged.
Yeah, you should have.
AJ, what's your?
James, you make a great point. I love dipping fries in ketchup and mayo, but I'm gonna vote dipping in fries. Give Dan the deciding.
Okay.
Because potato and tomato, they rhyme. They go hand in hand. Got potatoes.
Yeah, but mayo kind of does too, no?
And the mayos. The mayo party.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this is a tough one. I'm trying to think what else I would have. Like a prawn cocktail, I would have maybe like ketchup and mayo together. A lot of the time, I don't intentionally mix ketchup and mayo. Like I say, they just end up in the same area, and then cross pollination happens. And I think it is a great thing that can happen. Because there's a lot of things that just wouldn't mix together, or like the product of them mixing together would be terrible. So I think I'm going to stick with mixing ketchup and mayo. And the thing is, the act of dipping can often actually be what leads to the mixing of the ketchup and the mayo.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go with the number 4 seed mixed with mayo. The fry can be used as a utensil to mix together.
So mayo lost to ketchup in the last bracket, and then is victorious with ketchup in the ketchup bracket. I love it.
I do think we said in the last bracket, if there was a mayo and ketchup mix as one of the condiments, that would have won, like a mayo chip. So I'm glad it gets its justice here. So we've got our final bracket here. I just want to point something out, AJ, before you do your whole thing. This is the text I got from AJ this morning. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. Let me see if I turn my brightness down a little bit. That's what AJ wanted me to put on the bracket, was all those words. So we tried to condense it down. I don't know if that's going to be visible or not, but so maybe just do some explanations. I can't change the font.
I'm kidding. All right, that's all right. I got my notes here, so I'll lead us through this.
Okay, perfect.
We're gonna be talking about the Rolling Stones here, glorious Rolling Stones, and number 1 seed is record tours. The Stones have set the world record for most money made on a tour multiple times, and like every time they set the record, it may be broken, but every time they tour, they break the next record. And they've got over 3 tours that made over $500 million. So that's record tours up against Gimme Shelter in the movies. Martin Scorsese used Gimme Shelter in Goodfellas, Casino, and The Departed.
Yeah.
And this song is so intense, right, that the lady who sings vocals on Gimme Shelter was pregnant at the time. And was so stressed out from recording those vocals that she ended up having a miscarriage when she got home.
Oh, well, now I can't vote for this.
Yeah, I was going to easily vote for.
I was going to easily vote for Gimme Shelter, but keep in mind, AJ wanted me to put all of that on the line for the bracket.
I would have fit. You put little brackets there.
I mean, I was going to vote Gimme Shelter. I feel dirty doing it now, especially after I shamed Joe for voting for 9/11 a few weeks ago. But I think I'm still gonna vote Gimme Shelter. It's just so good in movies. It's so good in the movies. It just works. Every movie it's in, it works.
What would you say the main one is? What, the Departed?
Departed, Goodfellas. Did you say Casino? Well, I don't remember it in Casino, but I remember it in the other 2.
Yeah, I mean,
Joe.
I'll go next. I kind of feel like this is.
I think it's in. Is it in Goodfellas?
I don't think it's in Goodfellas. I wouldn't think it's in Goodfellas. It doesn't seem like a.
No, it doesn't seem like one now.
But it's definitely in The Departed.
Almost positive it is.
Maybe Scorsese just puts it in every single film. It's in Taxi Driver and Shutter Island.
Yeah,
it is. Okay.
Then Hugo.
But yeah, so I kind of feel like the one seed here is just capitalism.
Yes.
And like that
JJ's
kind of
anti.
and that kind of benefits the record setting tour doesn't mean a lot to me or to the average fan. It's like, oh, well done, you guys made a lot of money and you're now like even richer. So I don't really I think it's impressive, but it doesn't like appeal to me as much as the song Gimme Shelter. And my dad's ringtone on his phone used to be Gimme Shelter. I think it probably could even still be Gimme Shelter. So that song, I just think of it as my dad's cell phone, as you guys would say, ringing, and the first kind of chords of Gimme Shelter playing out. So for that reason, I'm taking the upset with Gimme Shelter.
Are you making a clean sweep?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I see no benefit to the record-setting tour, to be honest with you. I think these seats could have been flipped.
That surprised me, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it's so good, dude.
Yeah,
the voice cracking, you're making the background. Yeah.
I think I used that song in one of the first videos I ever made when I was like learning how to do that shit in high school.
Yeah,
it's
so good.
That's one of the coolest moments in a song when you hear the lead singer react to somebody else singing.
Yes,
and they just leave it in the song.
Yeah. We maybe next Honeydew Italian Ice cover. Give me Shelter.
James, you got the range for that?
Really test the vocals. Yeah.
Oh god. All right. Next we got the 4 and 5 seeds. Mick Jagger's Electric Dancing Legs and Keith Richards' Unstoppable Liver. The two best body parts of the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. What do you guys start? I've been starting here, so
I'll go with the liver. I just feel like it's been the downfall of so many. And Mick can sing standing still or sitting down. I really would care, but Keith needs to be alive. So
yeah, Dan, I'm going to vote for the legs. So I'll give you the deciding vote. But the reason you just said that, and I'm like, if I went to a Rolling Stones concert and he did the Adele thing, I would just leave. Like the whole, it's it's huge to me. Like I get what you're saying about the liver, and it is got to be the most impressive liver on the planet. But I feel like he's also got so much money. It kind of contributes to that. The fact that Mick's legs are still working the way they do at his age and the things he's still doing, you got to give it to his electric legs, man. So Dan, you have the tiebreaker here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with like what you just said there, that Jagger's kind of energy and it's his legs and his arms and his dancing and is good. I feel like perhaps Keith Richards is just a very like he's just been anarchic and partied at the right moments that have made him seem like he's partied a lot more than he does. I would think that, I think he's probably teetotal these days. I would think to still be going. I don't know for sure, but it's an impressive liver and probably, to be honest, across the whole band, like their general health and their genetics to get to where they are today is incredible. I think it's a very difficult one because I feel like both of them kind of probably could involve some sort of substance assistance. In terms of Jagger still having the energy he does now, is that completely natural? I don't know. And then Keith Richards, is he a Mr. Burns type figure where it's like, he has every single disease under the sun, and it's kind of they're just all trying to get through that doorway and blocking each other out, or keeping each other at a sort of a status quo. I am going to go. I think we've got to go with Keith Richards.
Wow. Okay.
On this one, I just think like he is and has been like the ultimate rock star for like half a century, and that is incredible. And you think of someone like, compare it to like the round one, like Ozzy, where Ozzy's at now, and when you see Ozzy Osbourne today and versus Keith Richards, it's like, you'd think one was like a Tibetan monk and the other one had spent 8 tours in Afghanistan or something. So we'll go with Keith Richards' liver.
Okay.
I'm a little sad to see Mick losing that, but I mean, you guys put forth very good arguments. I think Mick Jagger probably has the edge on like least assistance, because Keith Richards does get all his blood swapped out every year. But if you got the money, you got the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we're going to bring this to the other side of the bracket, where we have the number 2 seed, over 250 million records sold, up against the most viewed concert of all time, which was 2006 Rio de Janeiro, where they had 1.5 million people tuned in via internet and just like a mile-long strip of the beach.
Via internet in 2006, and that's pretty impressive that they
it still hasn't been beaten. It's
able to pull that
concert.
off. Dan, you go first, because I want to hear if you're sticking with your capitalism take here.
So what's that? 250 million
records sold?
Records sold versus most viewed live. And does that most viewed live exist still today?
I believe so.
Oh wow. I mean, I think the capitalism thing is less applicable here, because I feel like how many records you sold is kind of not like you don't really control that. You make the music and people buy the music, whereas like you set like with the record setting tour, you set the merch price, you set the price of the tickets, you set how many dates you do on that tour, the size of the arenas and the stadiums. 250 million sold is purely like a reflection of how good your music is and how it's sort of stood against the public in the test time. So although the most viewed live thing is good, again I feel like they've kind of that can be, I think if I'm trying to think of a good artist that could probably do it today, maybe someone like Taylor Swift, if she decided tomorrow that she wants to have the most viewed concert, she could probably set something up, set a relatively low ticket price for the event, and then stream it like everywhere on the internet and probably get like break the record. So I'll go with the 250 million sold as my pick here, and it's the 2 seed, so it's probably just.
So I could be wrong, and I'm looking at it right now. I don't think the Rolling Stones own the record for most records sold. Like they've sold 250 million. I think it's the Beatles. Okay. And they've sold 250 million, which is obviously incredible, but they hold the record for most viewed concert live. Plus it was 2006, and the way they were able to, do that in 2006, make it work, not have it crash every 2 seconds, presumably maybe they did. But yeah, give me the most viewed live. So Joe, you give the tiebreaker here.
If that is the record, I'll always take a record over anything else.
Yep.
So, yeah, just out of respect for the best to ever do it, then yeah. But if you're debunking this,
no, I'm not debunking it. I'm debunking I'm just saying that the record sold, the 250 million, is not the most by a band.
Got
ever.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, I will stick with the upset.
What's the? So I'm just looking up the list of these concerts, but there's something in gold. Indicates the concert was highest attended of all time up to that point. So apparently Rod Stewart. So the if you don't have the online part of the Stones in Rio, the concert in Rio was still 1.5 million.
Attended.
But
wow.
12 years earlier, Rod Stewart had 3.5 million in attendance at New Year's Eve on Copacabana
Rod
Beach.
Stewart.
And Jean-Michel Jarre as well, performing at the State University of Moscow, apparently had 3.5 million as well. But it says that was the 850th anniversary of Moscow, and then also Rod Stewart's was New Year's Eve.
So it's not like they weren't going for Rod Stewart.
So you take those into account. AC/DC apparently had 1.6 million again in Moscow. So it's
asterisk next to
it's all asterisk stuff here.
Viewed.
Shout out though Jean-Michel Jarre, who has like who's got like 1, 2, 3, 4 like in the top 10.
Ridiculous. I've never even heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that person.
You'd know a couple of his like things, but I think he's a composer rather. You'd know some of his compositions.
I've updated the bracket, by the way, to reflect the asterisk, but the most viewed live asterisk does move on. AJ, what's our final first round matchup?
Oh, so most viewed moves on.
Yeah.
The last matchup is the Rolling Stones having 14 out of the Rolling Stone magazine's top 500 rock songs of all time, and up against Andy Warhol's album cover for the Sticky Fingers album, which is iconic because one, it includes a real zipper on the pants of somebody standing there in front of the camera with a swole on, with a full chub. And it's
give me the 14 greatest songs. Give me the 14 greatest songs.
Talk about iconic album covers.
It's iconic. Give me the songs.
Joe?
It's iconic, but it's also, hasn't it been replicated? Didn't George Michael and Bruce Springsteen pretty much do the same thing?
Copycats. They were jealous.
I just don't want to have to discuss it anymore after this, so I'm gonna I'll go 14 greatest songs, which I don't exactly understand.
You guys all cut out there for about a minute, so my apologies if I missed anything. But 14 songs moves through, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sticky Fingers is a restaurant. Sticky Fingers covers it's been updated to now, but yeah, there's a Sticky Fingers restaurant in Kensington in London.
So AJ has the opposite of Chalk also, with the 5, 6, 7, and 8 all going through.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8. I love it.
All right, on to the next one then.
Here we have Gimme Shelter as represented in cinema history versus Keith Richards' Unstoppable Liver.
Dan, you didn't get a vote last one, so you start.
Yeah, I'm taking I'm gonna go with Keith Richards' Leather on this one. I think it's remarkable and the song is fantastic, but it's one of many. Keith Richards' Leather is probably more important. There's only 4 livers in the Rolling Stones, whereas they have several hundred songs. So yeah, Keith's Liver. I'll
give you the tiebreak vote because Dan, I would agree with you, except it is that qualifier of the Gimme Shelter in movies, and it just works so perfectly in movies.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, I'm voting Gimme Shelter as opposed to the Liver.
I would agree with you, but I wasn't totally confident that it was even in Goodfellas, and then Dan was like, "No, it's not."
At what point
is it? It is in Goodfellas.
Yeah,
because
where
I was
is
like,
it?
I definitely it was also in Casino, and those movies run in the same. They bleed together for me, so I was like, "Oh, maybe it was in Casino," but it was actually in both.
I'm looking it up right now. The scene.
Is it at the end when he goes into witness protection or something?
Yeah, it's when they're doing the coke. Well, I don't know if that's.
Henry seems to have made it watering down coke and keeping his girlfriend Sandy cooking.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
Was it in The Irishman?
Probably, yeah. I'm looking up what movies it's been in.
It's in Layer Cake, Flight, Casino, The Departed. Those are the ones listed on here in this article.
Okay.
Layer Cake with Daniel Craig.
Used for Hockey Night in Canada.
Huh.
Ford v Ferrari was
nice.
the trailer. Yeah, Flight with Denzel. It's great. Joe, what are you voting for?
I still have to go with Give Me Shelter. I can hear Give Me Shelter. I can't hear Keith Richards' liver.
Good point. AJ, other side.
Now I'm thinking about that. I'm like, I don't know. I've never been close enough to Keith Richards, but if you put your ear up on his abdomen,
could you hear his
like, ah! Anyway, on the other side of the bracket, we got 14 the top 500 rock songs versus the most viewed concert.
With an asterisk, and because of that asterisk, I'm going for the 14 greatest songs. Because there's no asterisk there. We know for a fact that they are 14 of the 500 greatest.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree. Actually, that probably should have been the 1 seed.
Yes. Yeah. It's outrageous to be the 6th.
Do they have the most on that list?
I don't think so, but let me look at.
Yeah, I would think it's like, I don't know, Dylan or the Beatles or Elvis or something maybe.
Yeah, I know Dylan's always number 1. Let's see. Yeah, Dylan is number 1. Why can't I find anywhere that has it by band? Either way, I mean, I think 14 is pretty amazing. So, plus the top song is Like a Rolling Stone. So that should count for 15. That should be 15 of the greatest songs.
And this is in Rolling Stone magazine.
They actually don't have a top 10. They don't even have a top 20.
The Stones?
Oh no, they do. I'm sorry, they do. They have number 2. But then after that, it's not for a while.
So 196 of the songs are from the 1960s.
Nice.
130, yeah, so like 25% from the 70s, and then it basically just decreases after that. The Beatles, there we go. The Beatles are the most represented musical act with 23 songs on the list. Then the next one's Dylan with 15, the Rolling Stones with 14, Elvis with 11. U2 have 8, Beach Boys, Hendrix have 7, Led Zeppelin, Prince, Sly and the Family Stone, James Brown, Chuck Berry all have 6. And then you've got Elton John, Ray Charles.
Sly and the Family Stones has the same amount as Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. And then you've got Elton John, Ray Charles, The Clash, The Drifters, Buddy Holly, and The Who all have 5.
Okay. That's wild.
That is a shame.
What is that? The Sly and the Family Stone. What do they sing?
Dance to the music.
Okay, right.
Dance to the music.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they might have like 494, 495, 496.
True.
I can't name 6 of their songs. I can name maybe 3.
Okay, so does that set up a final?
Yeah, sets up our final here, AJ.
Yeah, we got Gimme Shelter in the movies versus 14 of the top rock songs ever.
So Gimme Shelter's actually in both, I would imagine, here, because it must be one of the 14.
Yes. Dan, do you want to start on this, or you want me to, or Joe, whatever?
I'll go first. I think 14 of the. I mean, that's essentially that is the Rolling Stones discography versus versus one of the songs from that.
But in movies.
In movies. But wasn't the full title of the 14 greatest songs like the 14 greatest songs on the Rolling Stones list? Like, ironically, that is sort of on there, a list that's named after them anyway. I'm going to go for the 6th seed. I'm going to go for the 14 greatest songs. Because, like I say, it includes "Gimme Shelter."
All right, Joe, I'll give you the tiebreak then. I'm not. "Gimme Shelter" in movies is just so good.
I gotta go 14 greatest. It's basically the same argument you just had about the Ketchup. It's just like a thing in part of a thing.
Yeah, but those other 13 songs aren't. It's not the 14 songs used in movies. You know, for me,
it's still 14 tremendous songs.
But I'd rather watch the movie scene than listen to the 14 songs. But
well, if it was movie scene with "Gimme Shelter" in it, I'd say perhaps. But there's
that's what it is.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna go with the other songs, dude. I mean, they have great songs. "Gimme Shelter" is great. You know, "Sitting for the Devil" is great. You know, 19 Nervous Breakdowns, "Start Me Up." You know, these are great songs.
Okay.
Classics.
All right. So so that puts 14 greatest songs through to the final. We've got two pretty good matchups here in the final. So let's do it. Let's wrap up our ultimate bracket of things with our ultimate final four here. We've taken from the Jack Black blockbuster Ketchup and Rolling Stones region our first matchup, Red Hot Chili Peppers up against the Rolling Stones 14 greatest songs in the Rolling Stone magazine top 100.
This might be unfair. This one, it might be unfair.
Yeah, how did it get matched up like that? Now you have a whole band's discography versus just the 14 best songs.
Yeah, but
how many songs did the Chili Peppers have on that list?
Not even 5.
Probably
Dan
like
didn't even mention
1 or 2, maybe.
Yes. So I mean, I love the Chili Peppers, but we're talking about
this
the
is
14
tough.
greatest songs.
You're just taking 14 over 200.
But are the Chili Peppers in Goodfellas? So, you know, probably not.
Yeah.
But I mean,
well,
yeah,
you can't use this movie argument now. You don't even remember it in Goodfellas.
Movie has to go away.
Yeah, I'm going with the 14 greatest songs.
I am too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to. I think it's a 4-0.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's going to be really hard to beat the 14 greatest songs. But on the other side, we've got Browsing Movies at Blockbuster up against Ketchup Mixed with Mayo.
Where's that coin? Right. Yeah, I'll let someone else go first.
Okay, I'll go first. It's I love Ketchup Mixed with Mayo, but this is where it ends its run. I love browsing movies, like you said, even on Netflix, Amazon, browsing anything. I love doing it. I think it's all ingrained from Blockbuster, and I miss Blockbuster and West Coast Video and all the others. So yeah, give me browsing movies.
If it's me looking at like which is more kind of prevalent and ingrained in our culture, I think looking ahead to the future, browsing movies is going to take the cake, because there's a lot of different condiments, there's a lot of different choices. People are going to be mashing up with ketchup, with mayo, whatever, and browsing movies just kind of like, you know, people are never going to stop looking for their stories. What do you want to watch? However, I'm going to vote for me personally as to which one I get more use out of, and it's ketchup and mayo.
That was the most roundabout way to vote for ketchup and mayo.
I don't have a TV. Well, I got to give it its due. I don't have a TV. I don't have a Netflix account. I don't watch a lot of movies. I do eat a lot of ketchup and mayo.
The problem with browsing movies is it's not watching the movie. It's merely browsing.
Yeah. True. It's a good point.
It's hard for me to like, just the act of looking, through movies and be like, this looks good, and then you don't actually get to follow up on that is very sad. Now, ketchup with mayo, I feel like I've overeaten in my life. I've had too much of it where I don't really like it as much anymore. But it still gives me a final product. There's still a tangible thing. Browsing movies is just it's totally abstract. So I have to go with mixed with mayo.
Okay.
So that's 2 votes for the mayo, I think, and 1 for movies.
I got the quarter right here if we need it.
Yeah, I think that the browsing movies bit is more like browsing movies in Blockbuster, and then ketchup and mayo mixed together. I'm going to go with browsing movies. I want to see a coin toss. If James gone to the effort of going to his car to get the coin, I think it literally is a 50-50 for me on this. So I'd be happy to see either go through and face up against the Rolling Stones top 14 songs of all time.
All right, so we've got we'll make heads, browsing movies, tails, ketchup mixed with mayo. That was a terrible flip. Heads, browsing movies goes through. Sorry to ketchup mixed with mayo. I make my first final on a coin flip. Feel good about that. So now we go to the Rolling Stones 14 greatest songs on the Rolling Stone magazine list up against browsing movies at Blockbuster.
Dan, you brought up a good point. Is it browsing movies at Blockbuster, or is it the idea of browsing movies?
It's browsing movies at Blockbuster. I mean, it was a Blockbuster bracket. So
right. Okay. And again, it's not going home with the movie. It's just looking through them.
Which was the act of browsing is, I feel like, is just such a.
The movie's never as good as the browsing experience.
That's insane.
Yeah. No. So
it's kind of like looking at the menu, isn't it? Looking at the menu at a restaurant is
it's great.
Often the most enjoyable part of the whole experience.
Shopping, all sorts.
Because
it's browsing movies for me.
You're most pregnant with anticipation or with kind of that you might have a good time here at that point.
But if it's specifically browsing movies at Blockbuster, like Blockbuster's dead. The Rolling Stones are not dead and will never die. So.
Yeah, but the memories are alive.
No, 14 songs.
Yeah, I'm with AJ here.
Memories are alive for me. And I love browsing movies still. I love browsing movies at Blockbuster.
But not at Blockbuster.
Hey, I could go to Oregon tomorrow and go browse movies if I wanted to.
Will you?
Maybe.
I'll listen to the Rolling Stones today.
Maybe I will. Give me browsing. I love Blockbuster. I was happy to have it as my bracket. It's I love Blockbuster. Dan, are you putting this to another coin flip or is it Rolling Stones?
So is the coin going to be used again? Browsing movies versus the 14 greatest. No. It's Rolling Stones 14 greatest songs.
I wanted a coin flip for the 5 weeks of this to end in a coin flip would have been great, but that's a great winner right there.
Yeah.
It's a great winner right there. That's the Rolling Stones 14 greatest songs ends up our ultimate champion in this ultimate bracket of things. I think that was about an hour and 40-minute show. So we should probably try to wrap it up. It will be shorter shows next week as we get back into the drafts, which I'm excited to get back into the drafts now that we've had a couple months off from it. But how are we feeling? How are we feeling about Rolling Stones 14 greatest songs making it through? Which, by the way, was a 6 seed in the Rolling Stones bracket for some reason.
It was insane.
That's a testament to how many cool facts there are about the Rolling Stones.
You had the Boner album cover as a higher seed.
It's a great album cover, Andy Warhol. How am I feeling? I'm feeling like I want to dance. I want to do my best Mick Jagger impression right here and now.
Do it, please.
It's all lips. It's all hips.
Show us the hips.
I'll strut it off for you guys as we end the show. You guys got to sing for me, though.
Dan,
Stop
Joe, Eddie.
me up. Stop me up.
It's great. I think we'll say bye there. AJ, keep dancing. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with the draft next week.